Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We got Batman and Robin. We got Space Ghost. And we have the creature from the Black Lagoon lives. Let's check them out right now. All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we talk about movies, television shows, and comic books and the occasional board game. And I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. Again, thank you for spending time with me. Please give me the thumbs up, give me a like, give me a subscribe if you can. I am trying to grow the channel out. And if you have been watching my other videos, as you know, we launched Mythlords Classic Monsters card game with art by Mark Spears. He's done a ton of different comic book covers, namely Spawn, Spider-Man, Vampirella, Neo Before Zod, Power Rangers, you name it. He's done cover art, and as you can see, he's done a whole pile of classic monsters. It's a great game with some great art. Check out the link below. You'll be able to jump into Backer Kit. We are fully funded, and yeah, jump in now and get some free stuff. We'll talk about that at the end too, but in the meantime, let's jump into Batman and Robin. This is issue 9. So this continues the only Batman book I'm actually reading. I'm not collecting the regular Batman title. I'm not collecting detective comics, mostly because they're both badly written as far as I'm concerned. Here, I like the dynamic, but I really wish they'd get away from this wash coloring that they're doing. That this one artist, that's all they can do is this wash coloring. And you can see the difference in the pages because we have one artist on a certain group of pages and another artist on a certain group of pages. So we have Batman being drawn by one artist and then Robin going off with his new girlfriend there. And I forgot her name. But anyway, this is about Man-Bat. He's going to, spread his toxin through the city. We've seen this a million times before. So Damian and his girlfriend are now in high school because the woman that trained him, he feels, is the principal. So he's like, that's the principal. I know her, blah, 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 but he hasn't really figured it out yet. It's all very coincidental as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Simone Di Matteo is my problem with this, and then Giovanna Nero. But you can see, just look at the coloring there and the art. It's all very black and very, the washes just don't work for me. But anyway, Batman's battling there, and then boom, you get to like a regular comic book here. It's very colorful and everything is thing, and there's his girlfriend there. Flatline is her name. So she can pick up the powers of people who are dying. And the knowledge, for that matter. But you see the blonde in the back. He's like, oh, that's her, blah, blah, blah. I know it. And then you have this other teacher who comes in at the end there. She's the one with the glasses. Just keep note of her. So anyway, she's like, well, we need to, be able to get away and talk to her. So we need to get in trouble so we can go to detention. But I can't fight. So she says, well, not that kind of fight, but what about a food fight? Woo! So they start a food fight, and the principal's like, stop it. And so they finally end up in detention, and she's like, I know it's you. So sure enough, she reveals herself that it is the person that trained him, and she has minions, so we have to have a fight in detention, and they lay them all out. And there's one kid in there, and he puts a gun to his head, but then she gets electrocuted, and it's by the teacher with the glasses, and she's like, you have now unveiled yourself, hush. And he tries to hit her, and of course she dodges it, which is really what the test was. That see, she ends up catching the Batarang or the Robinrang or whatever, etc. So she tells her whole story about Tommy Elliot. We get this backstory. Tommy Elliot was the original Hush and stuff like that. So So they end up capturing her, and boom. They now they're searching the city, etc. So now we go back to Man-Bat, and we get the ending here. I'm going to kill everyone. Ah, ha, 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 ha. But what's missing here, of course, is the dynamic between Damien and Bruce, because that's really what keeps this book going and separating them for this length of time. I do like him and Robin and Flatline together, but that's good for a couple of scenes. But it needs to go back and forth. It can't rely completely on it. But I really like this, and I think it would do really well. We're gonna see Damien and Bruce together anyway in the James Gunn movie. This is the Robin they're gonna be using, which I don't know how they're gonna do that. How they're just gonna leap forward through Dick and the rest of and Tim and Jason. I mean, that's a lot of history just to jump over to go right to Damien. I don't know how they're gonna do it. All right, so let's go to Space Ghost. I was a big fan of this cartoon when I was a kid. It was a Saturday morning cartoon, and that's why I say Space Ghost, because that's how they said it on television. So anyway, it was a Saturday morning cartoon, and there was a pair of teenagers in it, and there was also a Gleek. I thought it was Gleek. Maybe that's the Wonder Twins I'm thinking of. But anyway, there's a monkey in this one, too. So we get this kind of a flashback, so we get to see a little bit more about Space Ghost's past, which is a very darker version of Space Ghost. We don't ever see this version in the cartoon. So he's very quiet here. He's picked them up because their father was murdered, basically right in front of them. So he's taking them to safety so that, he can keep an eye on them and still keep track of the people that are going to kill them. And, artwork is pretty good. And he says, hey, don't touch anything, etc. And of course, that's not going to happen. So the kid takes out, well, first of all, they start hacking stuff, and then he gets pissed off and he starts traveling around. And here's where we see this flashback, but I like how they do it intermittently with him letting out rage. So I guess his family was murdered, which is on the bottom portion, and him kind of letting out this aggression on the top. I like how it was laid out. Yeah, but you can see they're getting bored. There's no games. There's no food anywhere. Everything that kids would want, he doesn't have. So he's like, well, me and the Blip, I think is the monkey's name, are going to take the ship out for a little ride. And when they do that, they end up running into an energy monster, of course. And the energy monster holds the ship captive. And he's like, help me. And Space Ghost goes in there, but it's his energy bands, that stuff he fires with, it's just absorbing it. So you can't do much. So he says, well, what are we going to do? And of course, the little girl has an idea of using radio waves to basically disperse the energy of the monster. So now he's like surfing on top of the wing, and he lets the monster catch him so that he can draw the thing to the radio tower, and then he lets the radio tower disperse the energy with her command. And then he says, we did a great job together, and I want you guys to be honorary members of my team. So he gives them masks and jetpacks and stuff like that, which now is, boom, what we had in the original cartoon. Pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot, and I think it would make a great movie. I don't know how you'd make the kids, in there where it was believable. But I like it. All right, let's jump into Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, number 2. So I just realized with this that it was a years-long continuation, which I didn't realize when we read the first one. It's by Ram V and Dan Waters. Ram V is very hit and miss for me. So in the last one, she was searching for a serial killer. I forgot it was having to do something with her sister or something like that. But I actually got to meet Julie Adams, who was the female in Creature from the Black Lagoon. And it was never, they never did any sequels that I know of or anything like that. She was like 80 when I met her. She signed something for me as well. But yeah, this one always had a little hole in my little spot in my heart kind of thing. I love the suit and everything like that. And the look and feel of the creature was amazing. But anyway, so she was searching for the serial killer, and she followed him all the way to this, swampy thing, and she lost consciousness there, and she started drowning. But anyway, then she wakes up, and this is one of my problems with the writing on this. So she tells you that this is called anoxic brain damage, and she tells you what the symptoms are 3 times during this 20-page book. And it gives you hallucinations, and it gives you this, and it gives you that. I'm like, man, just get over yourself. I get it. I got it the first time. You don't need to keep adding things to what this thing is. So anyway, she ends up being in like a CSI type of thing where he's doing autopsies, or his assistant that ends up getting her out. And he says, oh, she's taking a shine to you. And he's like, he's doing an autopsy. He keeps saying the creature. So this is one of the guys from the boat from the original, now 30 years later. So he knows the creature exists, but she is not buying it. And he says, yeah, well, look at the claw marks, and there's dirt in there, and that dirt comes from a certain part of the lagoon. And she's like, well, take me there because I think that's where the serial killer is. And he's like, all right, we'll go. And the other guy with the mustache is the guy that actually pulled her out. He's the assistant. And they go to through the jungle, or whatever you want to call it. And we end up finding the cartel. And the cartel, there's the serial killer. And the serial killer is training the cartel guys. And she's like, I have to see his face. I have to see his face. So they're like, oh, wait, do not go where they can see you, man. You're going to get your ass in trouble. And then she faints due to the thing. And this is where we get the other thing. This is what the Ansaraka thing does. And they go searching for her, and she is passed out completely. And they ended up dragging her away just before they find them, but the creature comes out and they start shooting the hell out of it. And they're like, what the hell is that? And it's like, I will kill you all. We never see it really move that fast. It's more like a slee stack from Land of the Lost in the movies, where it's like going a little slow. But anyway, they get her into the boat, and it's killed 2 guys now and dismembered them. And there's the serial killer with the thing, and he's like, this is really funny. Okay. So I guess it follows her. It's feeling some kind of a connection to her, etc. And that's the end of that. Will it make a good movie? No, I don't. It's okay. This is an okay story, but it's not horror enough. Her searching for it's too based on the people rather than the monster. So let's do a recap real quick. I like it that we brought the character back, but this is not the story that would ever hit the screen. Space Ghost, I love that Space Ghost is back, and I would love to see a movie on that. And Batman and Robin, well, we're not going to see this particular story, but we are going to see Damian and Bruce together. So I am looking forward to that, even though I don't know how they're going to do it. All right, so that's it for me. So thank you so much for spending time with me. Remember to give me a like and a thumbs up, and subscribe if you can. And remember that we do have classic Monsters and Mythlords, the card game. It is a deck builder. It's not hard to learn. And you can see from the back here that you can play as Dracula, Frankenstein, werewolf, and there's Creature from the Deep right there. And then you attach weapons and spells to them, etc. And then you can also recruit other cards. Like there's the Mummy and, Bride of Frankenstein. Plus there's plenty other characters in here as well. And it's not expensive. It's only like $35. And it comes with a bunch of over 100 cards, etc. Plus, boards, etc. And you just click the link in the description below. It'll take you to Backer Kit. There's also a video there and plenty of how to play videos and stuff to that effect. So check that out. And also check out some of my other videos as well. And you can also pick up the expansion pack from Wizard of Oz, where you can play as Dorothy and the Wicked Witch, and all the other characters from Oz are also in there. All right, so check out my other videos as well. Remember to like and give me a subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. All right, bye-bye.